Thank you for being here on Real Estate in the Lowcountry. With me now is Alan.Boatwright. He is with Goosehead Insurance, our neighbors right across the hall from the studio. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
So we're almost to June 1st, which means we are almost back to hurricane season.
That's right.
It seems like it comes around faster and faster every year. Is
Yeah.
that just me?
No, it's knocking at our door right now.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, we want to have our insurance in place. We want to make sure that that's all buttoned up before hurricane season starts, but there's a lot of things we need to do to get prepared.
Right, preparedness, I mean, not just having the insurance in place and reviewing it and having it, other things like being prepared, like maybe cutting back dead limbs off your, that are above or near the house and stuff, so that they're not a thing flying through the air.
Right.
Getting prepared as in having cases of water already on hand, because we've seen what happens around grocery stores and Sam's Club and places like that.
Right.
They sell out as well. So go ahead and stock up on those things, because June 1st, yeah, that hits hurricane season, but it's not really heavy and strong, I guess, until July, August, but September is always the most active month, but it's good to go ahead and get ahead of it and be prepared.
Yeah, for sure. And let's talk a little bit insurance-wise, then we'll talk a little bit more details on some other things that we can do. But what specifically should you make sure that you have in place with your homeowner's insurance policy?
Well, make sure that the coverage is there. It's costing more to rebuild the home lately,
Right.
and if you've got the same coverage you've had for 4 or 5 years, well, it's a lot more price per square foot to build your house. So make sure the coverage is enough to rebuild the house if you were to have a total loss, trees go through it or whatever the case may be. Make sure your wind and hail deductibles are there, and maybe have a copy of your policy with you, and reach out to an agent or just to go over things and make sure you got everything covered.
And not to get too far into the details, but there is some differences if it's a named storm or if it's not a named storm or it's a tropical. So, are there some certain caveats that you want to make sure are in place that way?
Yes, so some certain policies and certain companies, they'll have separate deductibles for wind and hail, and some will have separate deductibles for named storms. So if it's a tropical storm that has a name attached to it, they have their own deductible. So it's good to review it, just to see what you got, because I want to say before Hurricane Matthew, everybody was just a little comfortable and ease, and they had high deductibles. And
yeah.
I know in my neighborhood, it was pretty devastating when people said, "Oh, I've got to come out of pocket this much money.
Right.
This is not good."
Right.
So
and we don't normally have that much money just laying around necessarily.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so before we started filming, I love this idea. You said that your kids have their own kind of little preparedness box. Tell us a little bit about how you went about preparing those.
Yes, so and that was back in 2016, getting prepared when Hurricane Matthew was coming. We created a box for the kids to get them involved with it, because they see mom and dad running around kind of frantically, right? Well, get them a box and have them included, give them a checklist, and water, some zip ties, some crackers, things that can last long. And every year they replenish it, but they take it with them and they feel like they're a part of it, as young kids.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. Making them a part of the process is important, because I think that takes away some of the fear too. They're involved in it, they know what's going on. So, and if we do have to evacuate, what are some of the things that we should do? I mean, you already mentioned kind of taking down dead limbs and stuff, but I mean, if we're like a couple days out, we're not going to be out there with the chainsaw.
Right.
So what is it, some things we might want to do to have our house as buttoned up as we can when we leave?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that people always want to say, board up the windows, well, you may not have time to do that, so you can actually put tape across the windows, because if something does go flying through it, maybe it doesn't shatter the whole window and it's open, it'll kind of stay together if you put duct tape or something, exit or something like that. You want to take pictures on your phone maybe of your home before, so that you have fresh pictures of what it looked like before.
Right.
So just really, getting everything kind of buttoned up. Get everything off the porch too. That's a big mistake sometimes people make. They leave the outdoor furniture laying around, just set up as it was, but bring everything in that you can so there's not flying objects.
And if, God forbid something did happen, if we did have to evacuate and they came back to something having happened to their home, whether it's a huge loss or just something minor, what are the steps that they take? We've got about 30 seconds left, but what do they need to do first?
First, contact your agent. If you can't get them on the phone, because there's obviously going to be issues everywhere, then your insurance policy, I hope you took it with you when you evacuated. There's going to be a phone number that you can call that direct carrier.
Okay. Well, thank you, Alan, for being here. We hope it doesn't happen this year. We hope we stay tucked in our little spot here and we're going to be all right, but great information in case we need it. So thank you so much.
Thank you as well. Thank you.